But just by talking to some of you, I found there were all sorts of situations that you found confusing, sometimes a little bit annoying even, and you were not sure exactly how to respond. So I think one more thing that we could do usefully for your benefit, but also for the benefit of the students that you might be taking here, is the following. I thought we could try and get together a do's and don'ts list. Just some do's and don'ts for students. So if you're now the experts of the host family experience, if you were to prepare your students in whichever way, what are some of the do's that you would want them to know about, and what are some of the don'ts that you would recommend they should keep in mind? Things not to do and things to do. Think about, we'll do this in groups, but individually, I think I'd like you to think first of all, what does it mean to be in a host family? What's the full experience? Think about, getting up in the morning, meeting people throughout the day, food issues, things to do with anything that you found that there was some sort of misunderstanding that occurred, gifts that you brought, when to give them and when not to give them. What else, Mark? Thinking, what else is there?
Well, things to do with the bathroom and the shower and sharing it with how many people.
And what it meant for you now to be with a host family, including weekends, when you had more time with them. Because for some of you, there was a fantastic experience. Others had very different, not that they were not good, but they felt the weekend played out differently from the way they expected it. So think about that individually, and then I'd like you, as a group of 3, to put together some of those do's and don'ts. You could jot them down. Again, we'll pyramid them a little bit once you've done that. So,
always say thank you. The meal was delicious, even if it wasn't.
Host families were also prepared for us coming. So why saying that you enjoy something which you don't, and then they will probably repeat it?
It's a cultural thing.
You can be. It's another thing to be polite.
Yeah,
but you can say in everything you do, you can say it in a polite way throughout life.
Like I said, I don't like something to eat, and she didn't cook that food. Yeah, and she was really conscious about not to do what I don't like.
My host mother is vegetarian, so she constantly eats something sweet. And in my lunchbox there are so many things that are very sweet. So I asked, okay, I mean she does her best, but I need something salty as well. And she did it.
Yes. So what do you suggest? The students should ask what they need?
To be polite.
In a polite way, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're suggesting.
Yeah, always be polite, but it is something like all common knowledge. You should be polite, But if you're not satisfied with something, you should be able to discuss it with the family.
What else?
I think you should follow the instructions that they gave you. Okay, if she said always take off your shoes when you enter the house, I should do so. Not break the rules she imposed.
And if they say don't feed the dogs with food we eat, then it's one of don'ts as well. And talk to them. There are many things that I didn't know from the beginning what to ask, but then as the conversation just goes on, you think of some questions and you ask them about the family, about their work, about their habits and hobbies, and you get to know them. You got the insight of how family lives, and you can compare it with your own family.
Where do you usually buy the
ingredients?
Yeah.
That means the things that you put in to make the food. I usually go to Tesco. And have you heard of Tesco?
Yeah, we have.
Yes, every country has Tesco, yeah. This is where I do most of my shopping, in Tesco. But Tesco in this country is very good.
Yeah.
Maybe in Poland is not so good.
Yeah, it's good.
I have Hungarian students, students who come from Hungary, and they say that Tesco in Hungary is not very good. It's not as good as here. No, they say it's not so good.
Do you have a favorite food?
Do I have a favourite food?
Yeah.
This is a very difficult question to answer because I love food, and I would find it very, very difficult to choose one food that I like more than anything else. If I have to choose, I like fish.
Yeah.
I enjoy fish, baked fish, nice, special fish. I like salmon. Do you know what salmon is?
Yeah.
Do you know what colour it is? What colour is this fish?
Łosoś jest salmon, to będzie łosoś chyba, co nie?
It is pink. Pink, you're right, yes,
Pink.
yeah. It is a very
In
beautiful
Polish,
fish.
this is łosoś. Łosoś.
Łosoś.
Yeah.
Łosoś. Goodness me, right, okay, another word I've learned.
Polish is hard language.
It is
Yeah.
a hard language, especially for English people to pronounce, yeah.
Yeah.
Ja wiem. Who's that in the picture?
Which picture? Oh, in the middle. In the middle? Oh, that's me and Daniel and Anna. And then the smaller one is my father and mother. I'll show you. I'll bring the picture here. My father and my mother. And what do you think my father? Where do you think?
He's pop?
Yeah, you say pop as well in Serbian. Pop means a priest. Priest, yeah.
Catholic?
Not Catholic, Orthodox.
Czyli
Yeah,
prawosławie.
so you're Pravoslavy, that's right. So you're Catholic, yeah?
Yeah.
You're all Catholic. So he's a Pravoslavny pop. And that's my mum. But now they are much older. So my mother is now 85 years old. She's very old. And my father, this month, in January, he's going to be 87 years old. So he's very old. Yeah, so that's my parents.
When was it taken?
When was this taken? Oh my goodness, it was taken a long time ago. So I think it was probably at a church festival. Do you know what a festival is?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That I think it was probably taken after or during the church festival.
Do you watch much television? What kind of program do you like watching?
Right. I would like to watch more television, but I am very busy. I have not very much time to watch television, but when I have the time, I enjoy watching detective dramas. Yeah. Sherlock Holmes, you all know. Sherlock Holmes. Yeah. Have you seen the film?
Yeah.
Yeah. But there are also English police dramas that I enjoy. One of them is called Lewis, and it's set in Oxford, and that's very good. And I enjoy in the morning. I like to watch the morning news programme because it gives you lots of information about what is happening in the world. And there's entertainment. We watched that this morning. Do you remember? Do you remember this morning we watched that programme about rude Britain?
Yeah.
Do you remember rude Britain and how impolite British people are?
Yeah. To o tych niegrzecznych ludziach, ludzie kurzędników.
Do you think Polish people are rude?
Czy polscy ludzie są niegrzeczni? Mi się wydaje,
Sometimes?
Zależy jak...
Mi się wydaje, że tylko kurwa jak widzisz, to jest miło.
Right. Excuse me, pardon?
A jesteś głupi.
Ja jestem głupi.
Tak, bo pan to nagrywa, a to później będzie nie wiem.
you know, Poland people is
Zależy od człowieka.
no not polite.
So you don't think Polish people are polite?
Yeah, human. I guess to są.
Co?
No. These are human, bad or jak są dobrzy? Or good?
Good.
You mean there are good people and bad people?
Yes.
Yeah, some people are polite and good, and some people are very bad.
Yes.
It's mixed.
Yes.
It's the same everywhere in the world, isn't it? Yeah. Sometimes people think that young people like you are very rude and that old people are okay, but I don't think so. I think there are older people who are also not polite. It's mixed. I think young and old people can be rude, can't they? But you are not rude, none of you. You are very polite.
Don't get into their personal space. Don't get that close because they're not used to as we are.
Even though my host family said the house is yours. Whatever you need, whenever you need, the house is yours.
Always ask when you don't understand.
Yeah, so it could be about language, or it could be
About
about
the
I'm not sure what to do.
about everything.
Would you like some pudding? And students may
What is pudding?
Yeah, the same idea.
In my country,
No,
something
I
different.
Be flexible.
I think this is a very important one. Lozanov had this very nice concept. He said that most of the time only children behave as confident incompetence. You know, they don't know, but they don't mind. You know, what's that? How do you do that? And in a way, that helps language in saying it's okay. You know, you're learning. Say what you don't understand, and say it confidently, saying, you know, not can I ask you something, but I don't understand. Please help me. Okay, I think a very important one.
The incorporation of
Right.
thank you
Language.
and please.
Yeah.
Thank you, please, as much as you can.
Yeah, as much as possible.
Another group, perhaps?
Make sure your room and bathroom is clean.
Clean up yourself.
Yes.
Clean up to yourself.
Clean
Tidy up.
yourself in bathroom and your
Yes, room, bathroom, and all the places you go around.
For example, improve my table manners in the sense that when I have to eat food that I haven't tried before, you know, putting first thing or on top of that and things like that. So it's a good thing to ask.
Right.
But what I would recommend, things like magnets, fridge magnets, or mugs, because they all use mugs, maybe with symbols of your country or something like that. A box of chocolate is a nice gift. No boxes.
They might need a little bit of help, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
From the teacher, in terms of what to bring.
I mean, the actual act of discussing with your students the role of giving a present, what kind of present would be appropriate, and then the actual giving of the present, like teaching people appropriate language to give the present. Like, it's a whole preparation phase that would be worth spending time on.
I would say, this is why I'm just listening to you. I would simply say, think carefully about what gifts to bring and when to present them. I think a key thing that is missed when you are at the beginning, and I've been also with many host families, that you have no relationship with them.
Yeah.
If you know them a little bit, you suddenly realize there's a moment in the day where they are actually paying attention to you. It might just be before they turn on the telly, or I always find in English, actually Anglo-Saxon homes, the kitchen is a very good place. They're very happy to chat while doing stuff. It's just my impression. Instead of kind of trying to catch them as they go out somewhere and you're saying, oh, can I give this to you? So I don't think there's a recipe, but I think you can think about and resist the temptation to get rid of it the first day. Yeah? So I think you are the best people to just share your experiences there, to alert the students to the fact that they might have to observe a little bit. When they know a little bit more about the family, or maybe one family member, if they're youngsters and there's kids, and then to strike. Particularly, you could argue that I'm a paid guest, and therefore there's no point, so paid guest rather than guest.
Do I get a present on the way when I go home? I don't know.
It'd be nice to hear some.
I know that once a family asked me to prepare a Serbian meal, and it was a great thing for me. But I mean, I normally wouldn't take a present.
But it is a meeting present. You meet somebody. At the hotel, you don't
think
meet.
this is not like you checking in a hotel or something. You actually become a part of the family those 10 days. And it's important to have something to remember you by.
Okay. So you think it's actually the analogy doesn't quite work, the metaphor, because you may be paying, but you're allowed into a private space.
And it's really different how they treat you. So you can say that I paid for this course and they just treat you as a person who lives in the house and eats with them, and that's it. But I think if you give something, it might mean something more.
Cheers. It's not wine, but it's not beer. It's cheers. I've forgotten what you say. Nazdravie? What do you say?
Nazdravie.
Nazdravie.
Yeah.
Toast.
What do you say? Say again.
Toast.
Again?
Toast, like a toast.
Oh, toast.
Toast.
Oh, that's new. I've never heard that before. Toast. And what does this mean? What is it? Does it have another? I know it means cheers, but does it mean your health or?
No.
Does it have a meaning? The word toast. Toast. No.
Jakoś inne zawsze, nie?
Yeah.
No. Anyway, toast.
Toast.
I've learnt a new word today.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
But there is something about, if you just wait for the family to come to you, it's not going to work. So there's a do somewhere about looking for opportunities to interact. Or no, I'm just trying to think how.
Yes, I think there's a nice thing to just always be ready to give a hand, and the family would say no, just okay. But I think when you suggest the things like can I help you, take this or that, they appreciate it. Although they would say no, don't do anything. But I think it's a good, it's a good way to. So it's not a don't, okay?
Great one, thank you.
Don't say no when they're offering you tea, because here tea doesn't mean only a cup of tea, but a whole meal.
That's a good one. Well, this is Margaret had this experience when she came to Scotland, I think, for the first time, and she went to a family and they arrived at 5, and then the host mother said, would you like your tea now? I said, oh, no, okay, fine. Are you sure you don't want your tea now? He said, no, I'm okay. And they were sitting in their room, and by 8 o'clock they went down and said, sorry, I was supposed to have dinner? He said, but you said you didn't want anything. So they didn't get anything.
See, that would be doing language work with your students before they come. And because I grew up with breakfast, dinner, and tea. Those were the 3 meals that we always had. We never ever described the evening meal as dinner or supper. And supper for some people is a sandwich and a cup of tea before you go to bed at 10 o'clock. Supper for our hosts, where we are, is the evening meal at dinner. And these things are regionally different and also class different. But these are things that wouldn't be complicated to teach your students before they come.
We could have be flexible, and then that's it. But then the student would say, what do you mean by that? So I think all we're doing is to pool resources and to see what do we mean by behaving in a way that minimizes tension and problems.
Actually, these differences add the spice of the whole situation. Otherwise, people would be the same. And
sure.
Maybe it's a good thing to ask about the family's history. but at the same time be careful not to, you know, go too deep. Maybe they have some unpleasant things that they don't want to share with you.
So how would you like me to write this to be helpful? So that you
show interest into their family history, let's say.
Family and work and what they do and their daily work.
Yeah, show interest. Yes, in pets. That's a bingo. Show interest in
and their pets.
I think that's a really important point.
Because
it's another, you know, if you, football is big in many families.
Yeah.
Or something else, and actually say, oh, who are you supporting? Margaret's sort of favourite question to get somewhere, is a link. You know, and then you might be, oh, you're interested in football. So this is the sort of thing, if you don't go out of your way, they're not likely to invite you. Or not everybody will. And it's a missed opportunity.
And to show an interest and a curiosity in the lives of the people your students are staying with. So, and I think when you are curious and interested, people generally respond in a positive way.
Good.
So I think we should definitely be using those phrases that you mentioned earlier, like people tend to or seem to.
Oh, that's an interesting one.
Be very careful about the language.
Yeah, I mean, there's something else hidden behind that, because I think we're all judgmental.
Yeah.
I don't believe much in not being non-judgmental. It's nice. It's nice to keep your judgment back, which is a different thing. But we all respond to, ooh, you know, Cornish pasties. You know, and you taste them, and either they're very, very, you know, or spicy. So, but the point is that I think what Daniela is hinting at is the idea to get students to not overly judge, in the sense of actually saying things like, you know, British food is awful. They may feel that way, but I think it would be your task to look around, you know, instead of being judgmental, to be observational, saying, I don't like the taste of this, it's too spicy. That's very different from saying, you know, that's food I'd give to a dog or something. So I think there's something about, maybe you can help me again, Daniela, with, you know, something to get the students to keep their judgments in check. Not only because it's impolite, because they might come back full of stereotypes. You know, that's one of the paradoxes very often. If students are not helped by people like you, going abroad is the worst thing they can possibly do. So I'm trying to, maybe we could finish off on something that helps us to kind of keep this judgment thing in mind. How can we say that? The idea about...
expect people to be different from you and from your culture, and try to be flexible and to adjust, to fit in somehow. If it's for the 10 days only, so be it. Live with it.
Because it's not in your
and maybe, and don't judge them by your own standards.
Yes,
maybe that's the
exactly.
As a mother of a disabled child has been brilliant, because with autistic people, empathy is the thing that they lack. So although with my son it was all very mechanical, how are you? Did you sleep well? Did you have a good day? I mean, he didn't always listen to the answer, but, you know, I mean, he learnt all these things, and actually sitting at the table with the students, waiting until they'd finished their main course until he was allowed to have his. I mean, it was all really a very important learning process for him, but also the students on their side, they learnt so much. And I've never, in all the years I've taken students, I've never had a bad experience. They've all been so kind with my son, so understanding. It's been brilliant, you know, for both. And they've learnt a lot about, you know, autism, which is great. Two-way thing. Yeah. Great.
Staying with the host family in North Devon, is a very important aspect of the whole cultural immersion experience for students. The time spent with the families in the evenings and on Sunday provides a vital opportunity to gain confidence in speaking English. For many of the young people, and even some of the adults, it is often the first time they will have spoken English in communicative contexts in families in English-speaking countries. The cultural knowledge and understandings which come with that are a valuable part of their time in England and can contribute to a life-changing experience, which can influence both the way they think and the choices they make later in life.